Okay, good morning, guys. Quick rundown my morning video right here. So we have a multiple top here on this swing high. I targeted the very first time that we hit this range high. So that is my upside target today if we continue to get this bullish sentiment in the markets. It looks like a slow but steady drift up to that area, in my opinion. That is my primary thesis for the day, that we're going back into this prior high. That puts us at a little over 470 for the close for the week or for today. So just keep this one on watch here. If you go in, zoom in for today's session right here, we're into some resist. I got my daily pivots right here. We're into R1 right now here on the open, but definitely very close to some resistance here. So still think that's going to happen. Now, if we were to fade in today's session, I'm not looking for much more damage than coming down here to the 466 area. So we'll see what happens. Ultimately, your primary target, if things were to get really bearish, is to give back all yesterday's move, almost all of it, all the way down to the 463.60. Okay, to continue here with the Qs, similar situation. We're not even at the market maker move high for the week. So there's a strong potential there that we might get a big move in tech today to get back up into that, initially here. So just keep this one on watch. So we'd be targeting up here this prior high when we first got into this resistance zone, which has actually proven to be very strong here. And that would put you back slightly around 400, right around here, 400 on the Qs. Okay, going into today's session as your upside resistance. Possible downside targets here. 1 second. So everything on the global equity front looking great this morning. So I'm really not looking for much action, much below the 391 area today. That is a worst case scenario. Thinking we got some sort of liquidation coming in today's session. But everything sounds pretty good on the global front. Okay, to finish my main three indices here real quick, we had this breakdown point. This is a pivot breakdown. When we rejected that pivot, that has become our new major resistance. So as we can see here, we are below this critical pivot area. The bullish case, IWM is going to retrace back up to that to see if they can break it out again. That would put us at a price target today, the 224.50. That would be your target to finish out the pattern. We are above this prior swing high, so everything's looking bullish. And this right here, it was the possible rejection area yesterday. Now we've taken it out, so now that should become new support. So just keep that in mind. As long as we hold this prior high, then we're still bullish. So we'd be looking to at least hold the 220.50 area on the Russell IWM today. So, but everything's looking pretty bullish here. We're moving into our weekly market maker move high early on this session. So, but ultimately, that's where I think we're headed, the 224.50 area, possibly by the end of the week here. So, okay, going through a few charts here real quick here. These are my most bullish charts that I'm looking at right here. So basically AMD, we had this basically right here is our bull bear cross. It's the 147.90 area. That's our bull bear cross. We zoom in here right now. You see where we're trading at. Definitely possibly breaking above yesterday's highs here on that. We're definitely in striking distance to get into that weekly resistance area, 147.90 here. So that one there looking really good here for a possible run up. Also, always keep in mind the bearish case, on all these charts. Even if I don't mention them here, do keep that in mind. We do have J.P. Morgan earnings. The earnings run up time frame. We're getting really close to that right here. Okay, so I do want to point that one out as well. We go here on go in on our 30-minute here, and some things that I'm looking at on J.P. Morgan. I'm using a regression channel And today we are having a breakaway from the mean initially here. That generally indicates that we might be trending to the upside if this holds. If you whenever you get a breakaway type open away on the bullish side of your regression channel, that generally means you're trying to migrate to the top of the channel. So heads up on that. That one's looking bullish to me. This morning, Boeing's on my list here on watch. So basically, we have a breakdown uh, uh, that if we can get above the 203.50, we can get above 203.50. That has proven to be a breakout pivot. Right here, right now, we are trying to get there. Look the bid ask right here. We're right there. So this is a potential breakout scenario for Boeing. So keep that one on watch as well. Okay, I did IWM. Moderna. Moderna is bearish, so I do want to point that out. I am looking. You're in a down channel on Moderna. We came right back into the weekly 50 SMA as of yesterday, and we're right on our regression channel. It's it's not like that JP Morgan breaking away from it. Early on, that's what you want to see. Is you don't really want to be buying in on the regression on the channel. You want to be a breakaway move above it to indicate that a signal that something has changed, and that has not happening with Moderna. I'm more inclined to think we're going to revisit these prior lows before we see any further upside. So keep that, and we'll see what happens today in today's session. Nvidia. So basically, we got this little wedging scenario going on here on Nvidia. So we are inside that wedge again. Okay. So basically, this is a consolidation area on this wedge, and we are back above that this morning. Possibly going to be testing the top of this trend line in today's session. The 303.40 area for the close would be, and that's not very far at all for Nvidia. So that's bullish as well. Definitely keep the bearish case in mind just in case, like I said earlier. Facebook's on my list, but it's the one I don't really follow that much right now. I'm bearish on that. It cannot hold above the quarter close. So just keep that in mind here. The markets are really bullish today, so I'm not going. Bottom line is, you get above 340, you look for shorts, and we're not in anywhere near that right now. So, but that's pretty much that's been worked out very well. They had a horrible earnings last quarter. Okay, they're trying to rebrand themselves. I don't think it's going to work. So we'll see what happens. Microsoft, we do have 1 hour resistance around the 336 area. So, it is trending higher. You got to stick with the trend. We are above our market maker move for the week, which may or may not mean something. And, you can see the range that we're trading in. It's a little bit dangerous because we're kind of in a chop zone. So be careful on that. Goldman Sachs, really, that's an earnings run-up play also that I'm looking at here. So keep this in mind as well. So what I'm looking at right here, we had a capitulation absolute breakdown here, and we're coming back into that zone. So I'm looking for today to close around the 386.30 area, possibly close up there or higher. And if we start getting closes at this area, then next week, we've only got a few days next week, I can see us really completely running back to the top of this range. Like I said, this is a possible earnings run-up play because we got earnings. You look about 3 weeks out for earnings on these banks, and we're inside that window now. So okay, keep that on watch here. Netflix is on my scan. So I'm scanning actually for everything over their monthly pivot, and there's not a whole lot of things out there, but I'm just showing the bullish stuff today. There's definitely a case to be made for the bearish case, but right here and right now we're in the Christmas rally, so I'm not even talking about that. So our resistance here on Netflix would be around the 623.70 area. Not something that I'm overly excited about, but something I did want to share with you. It is on my list. Tesla's on my list this morning. We got volume this morning. So here's the problem I've got with Tesla, and I don't. It's a meme stock, so you got to be extremely careful. But it has still, in my opinion, not proven itself a viable long. Um, in my opinion, so be careful. In my opinion, granted, you can make the case it's going to go up here to 1,080, and I've seen some traders, they're putting those trades on for next week, 1,080 for next week. So uh, I I don't know. I don't know. So basically, we got down in this zone. Was a buy zone, okay? And then once we rolled over here, it became a sell zone, sell zone, sell zone, sell zone, and now we're right here, only ever so slightly putting a higher high in. See that can definitely mess with your mind, because we were putting lower highs in, and they were sell zones. Well, now we are putting a higher high in. In theory, this should be buy. You should be buying this area. So I mean, the pattern has changed. In theory, it's buy the pattern to the long side. So, uh, you know, I would not want to be initiating shorts unless we took out that prior high. Let me go ahead back to that real quick. So you want to see a breakdown of the 997. You want to see it back down there before you initiate shorts, in my opinion, because this right here, this has changed the pattern. The count is completely different than what we were with before. And then my final one, Amazon's on my list. So I can't really say too much about that one there, other than the fact that you can clearly tell this is a Head and Shoulders, and we've broke down on that Head and Shoulders. Okay, there's a clear Head and Shoulders pattern there. Okay, and we have broken on that. And if the theory is right, and if you do a measured move, I mean, we still have not even hit the low on that. So just keep that in the back of your mind going forward. On the upside, 3470, and the measured move would probably be somewhere down here around the just eyeballing it real quick here. You're probably looking somewhere around the 3200 to finish this Head and Shoulders pattern to the downside. So just keep that in the back of your mind. That's the way I would view it. I wouldn't get overly excited, but we are in a bullish market, and I did want to mention that idea. Okay, if you liked the video, like it. Please leave comments below, stuff you're seeing that I'm not seeing or something like that. Oh, real quick here on the morning volume before I get too far here. Where's my scan at? Update my scan. And we'll take this back over here. Give me 1 second here. And this is our morning scan, guys. So based on market cap, that's how I sort them. This is pretty much the action that's happening this morning. And so the highest market cap stocks, JD is the one getting hit the hardest here. Tencent unloaded a bunch of JD stock. I think they really needed the funds. So JD is the biggest mover on your Megatech so far this morning. So heads up on that. And then as you just have to go down. Yeah, JD is without a doubt. And then Tesla, you got a slight uptick here in Tesla this morning. So that'd be number 2. So JD, Tesla, second biggest mover, and then probably NVIDIA. Yeah, NVIDIA. Okay, yeah. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, thanks.